Hi all, welcome to our Team of the Week 22 Hot Shots, as we're going to call it. This is kind of cards that potentially look guaranteed for a Team of the Week, but if we can smash the likes would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at @GIsALegend. All links are down below for posting the channel and social media links as always, and a massive thanks to Kieran SFF for allowing me to do this. Go and check out his link in the description below, folks. It would be massively appreciated, because I know a few folk will do early Team of the Week predictions. I thought I'd do it as well, because I thought I've not uploaded anything today and I was kind of clutching a little bit at what to look at, so I thought let's put this together. So first off, 3 goalkeepers to focus on. I will have the full Team of the Week up tomorrow night as always, but Wiedwald is our first shout. He made 6 saves and kept a clean sheet. All 3 goalies have kept clean sheets, and in my personal opinion, usually when you keep a clean sheet, that should stand you in good stead. I've slipped up with Campana last week. I thought I should have had him in really, because when I looked at particular ratings of goalkeepers, I felt he was very impressive and I didn't go with him. But I feel this week Wiedwald has a strong shout, but looking at goalkeepers, I feel most confident about Blazwicz happening, solely because he kept 7 saves and a clean sheet against Ajax. Usually when you keep a clean sheet against Ajax, and the Hercules goalkeeper has done that, I think that will stand him in very good stead for getting himself an inform. Now, Roma might get themselves an inform because of, in the form of Morante, in the form of Kolarov, maybe even in the form of Dzeko. But in Morante's case, he kept 5 saves and kept a clean sheet against Kievo, who are bottom of the league. But regardless, he had a very good match rate, and I'm going to properly scour it for tomorrow. But he would not be someone you'd instantly look past, because 5 saves, very impressive, good match rating for what I'd seen on a couple outlets. But for me personally, it's going to be hard to kind of see past Kolarov looking at ratings at the moment. But I think Gazzeta's match rating of that game will prove, I think, the difference maker. At the moment, Morante as an inform is fairly cheap. Feel it would be fairly appealing to folk that like Roma. Obviously a second informed Kolarov could be equally appealing, so it will be interesting to see what happens. In form of defenders, 3 standouts at the moment are Robertson, Ramos and Kolarov. In Robertson's case, he got a goal and a clean sheet in the Bournemouth game. I think if he'd got an assist, or possibly even played a part and getting a second goal, would have maybe kind of guaranteed him. But I know a lot of folk would kind of really be desiring a second inform Robertson if it was to happen. I think a lot of people would, in all honesty. It gives an option over, it makes an even greater standout over Mendy, we would assume. Alonso, I know a lot of you folk like his UEL live card, but if Robertson's 86 was to be the same and kind of stand out, then it would be very appealing. In Ramos' case, I know he's just had a man of the match, so this card may not happen, but he got 1 goal and 1 assist in the Madrid derby, getting the result against Atletico Madrid. Didn't keep a clean sheet because it was 3-1, but Casemiro is the only other shout I can see from that game. I can't see them giving it to Bale for 1 goal. Casemiro also got 1 goal in the game, but Ramos is the strongest shout for it to happen. And if it was, then 93 rated, it slowly peaks him a little bit closer to that Team of the Year card that he has. And while his Man of the Match card almost felt like out the blue, the inform in a sense would be more justified. And in Kolarov's case, as we mentioned with Morante, he got a goal and a clean sheet. Could Kolarov happen for a second inform? I think there is a chance, but could 2 86 rated defenders happen in the 1 week? That will be interesting. That could be interesting, especially for 2 left backs. That will be the difference maker. I don't think we'll get both these 86s, we'll maybe get 1. But which one, I would say being Robertson, if anything. Then on to our midfielders, 3 standouts here. We've got Pogba. The reason why I've put his headliners card is because I know a lot of people have got his in like the headliners card, where they've bought it, they've packed it, whatever it may be, if they've got tradable and untradeable version of them, and obviously it would go to 91 rated. Obviously the inform would go 90, but regardless, he got 2 goals and that is what kind of swayed it. Like, his first goal put his price up by like 300-400k. I think the second goal kind of bumped up even more because people were like, oh my goodness, this is getting exciting. And obviously Martial in the first half was kind of looked like the early frontrunner with a goal and 1 assist. But saying that, Martial would make the left side a bit more appealing still for EPL fans, but in retrospective I don't think a lot of folk would really be crying out for a Martial. I think they would want Pogba, and it would be kind of like your marquee card for the week, because at the moment team of the week isn't looking the most strongest, I will admit. There's a few options, but in terms of like surefire shoots, there isn't too many at the moment. And obviously Bellarabi, now everyone in the comments will probably say, why is Brandt not in? He is currently in team of the week, and I don't see a back-to-back team of the week for him. So someone else is going to have to take his place, and Bellarabi seems the next best shout with 1 goal and 1 assist. I know Varane played very well in the game as well, but I think they would give it most likely to Bellarabi, and a second informed Bellarabi, in all honesty, wouldn't exactly be a bad card if you're a Bundesliga fan, and especially if you're focusing on player of the month. Could prove handy to an extent. Might not be the most expensive card, but it's definitely a card I would be saying to keep an eye on if it was to happen come Wednesday. But at the moment I would say Pogba most likely from Manchester United to happen for an inform. Now striker wise, the reason why I didn't want to show Cordoba or Adams is mainly because they would both like 80 rated, 79, 80 rated cards, and I thought let's look at other options just to kind of show what else there is. Now Chris Wood got 2 goals for Burnley in the 3-1 victory over Brighton. Ashley Barnes got 1 goal and 1 assist, but I feel Chris Wood is the most likely option of the two, and in all honesty it wouldn't exactly be a bad card to have, especially just as an investment card. 82 rated EPL, always find 82 just a little bit better than 81s to use for as an investment, but still very appealing regardless. Then on to Yilmaz. Definitely been, I think, fairly quiet first half of the season for Trabzonspor, then went to Besiktas and he's got himself 2 goals in their victory, and after Kagawa getting himself an inform for 2 goals, looks like we might have back-to-back informs from Besiktas, which would be in all honesty fairly deserved. They won 2-0, and Yilmaz team of the season card last year was, I think, quite an overpowered kind of machine near the end of FIFA if you were a fan of like Turkish Super League players, and I think an inform of this version, it's a small step to that on happening. And then Getafe's Mata got himself 2 goals and 1 assist, part of the discard inform club of the week, I'd imagine, 81 rated. Not going to be the most appealing card in the world, I'll admit. It won't hit, it might hit discard, it might not, but I would imagine regardless it will be fairly cheap to buy. I'd imagine like 12-13k for him. But as I said, Cordoba and Adams, they two are givens for team of the week. I just thought I would show Mata, Yilmaz and Wood just to show 3 other alternatives. Like Cordoba would be 80 rated and Adams would also be like 79-80 rated. So fairly interesting options to work with. At the moment, team of the week 22 is what I have at the moment is fairly thin on the ground. There is quite a lot of possibles that I have in my sheet, so I will be spending a bit of the night and tomorrow refining it. The only other ones I would have put into our hot shots from this at the moment would be Brunner for 1 goal, 1 assist and a clean sheet, and Müller of Hanover for getting 2 goals, and also Duda for 1 goal, 1 assist for Hertha Berlin. So at the moment it kind of just shows that I am a little bit light on options, so I'm going to have to, as I said, I better sit down and think over the team of the week 22 and see where we go from there. But as I said folks, as always, let me know in the comments down below, from what you've seen of the Team of the Week 22 hotshots, who are you most excited about? I'd imagine most folk will probably say Pogba and Martial in the comments down below. But if we can smash the links, would be awesome. Sub to the channel for new. Follow me on Twitter @GIsLegend. But hopefully you find this useful, folks. As I said, let me know in the comments down below. Last like always, sub to channel for new. Follow me on Twitter at GZLegend. Take it easy all, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later.